Hey again, this is Andy from potatoesandpearls.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a DIY book wreath using old books that you may just have lying around the house. I'm using Christmas books to make a Christmas themed wreath, but with these instructions you can make any type of pattern or design wreath that you'd like. Items you'll need: a flat wreath base. This one is similar to plywood and it cost me about $5 at the craft store. You'll need hot glue. The stronger the better, but any type of hot glue will really work, along with a hot glue gun. You'll also need some old books. Where I live, they actually have a book depository where you can grab books for free, but any books will do. You will also need some type of centerpiece. I'm using flowers. The lighter the better, just so it doesn't weigh down the wreath, but you could use ribbon as well. And lastly, this is just a final touch I like, is some craft glitter spray, and it'll add a nice little pop to your wreath. I'm just tearing my first page out of the book. You want to try to tear it as smooth as possible. I know that's not always possible depending on the size of the book or the type of page that you're working with. So just as clean as possible. As you can see, my first rip isn't necessarily the straightest, but it's fine, it's workable. And so you want to then attempt to roll it into a tight tube. I start with rolling it into a tight tube first, and then I work into my pattern, which you'll see here in a second. So you want to make sure that the pattern that you want is on the outside of the tube, and that unnice jagged edge, you want that on the inside. So once you've rolled, like you're just rolling, you want to roll as tight of a tube as possible. And once you've rolled that tight tube, then you're going to want to start to twist the bottom, almost like you're twisting the bottom even tighter. And as you twist the bottom, the top portion of your tube is going to kind of give that fluted effect. So it will be wider at the top. So the bottom, you want that bottom really tight and twisted, and then just kind of let the top piece uncurl. And then what you'll do is add a small dab of hot glue down at the bottom, and just let that dry for like 2 seconds, and it'll hold it into place. Once you've seen that your hot glue has taken and is holding your tube together, you can now decorate it. This was the optional portion I spoke upon with the adhesive glitter glue. My wreath is going to be more of a Christmas theme, so I do like that sparkle, I do like that glitter. So I am going to add it to the tips of this is the base piece of the wreath. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, or you don't even have to add it to the tips. You could just spray it all over if you really wanted to. It's really up to you. It's your own personal design. The only thing I recommend is that you do use some type of box to contain the glitter, as spray glitter gets everywhere, just like regular glitter gets everywhere. So just be careful. So now that your cone has dried, and side note, I recommend using an aerosol or similar to spray paint glitter glue. It's going to dry a lot faster than you putting glue on and then sprinkling on glitter. This particular glitter spray dried in maybe like 30 seconds. So once the cone has dried, you're going to add it to your circle. I put the glue on the back of the cone and then place it wherever you want to start on your circle. I'm going to show you in a few seconds here the pattern that I use to start to glue down my cones, but you're just going to go ahead and place it flat. If you're using kind of a cheaper glue, it may take a little longer for it to dry, but it should go pretty quick. Here's an example of the pattern that I use. I start out with an X shape, so I glue the cones across from each other, and then I fill in the space in between. It kind of helps with making sure that you are making that circle shape when placing your cones. As you can see, I have now added the first layer of the wreath. I used my X pattern to make sure that everything was kind of filled in evenly. And so it is laid out nicely and dried. I'm now going to put in my second layer of my wreath. It's not going to be as full as this first layer. It's really just to add in a little more stability and fluff. And I have added the second layer. As you can see, the second layer is not as full as the first layer. Once again, the second layer is really just to add some fluff and dimension to the wreath. Also, the second layer is going to be used as support for the centerpiece, which I am going to add now. So now that our first and second layer of the paper has been added and the glue has dried, I did spray a layer of the glitter on the second layer just to add a little bit of sparkle in the middle of the wreath. Once again, it's totally up to you. If you're not making a Christmas wreath, maybe you're making it for some other event or holiday or season, you may not need glitter. So that was just a touch I like to add. I am now going to place my centerpiece in the middle. I am using some large poinsettia type flowers from the craft store. They are pretty light, and once again, the lighter the better. So using like a light fake flower or ribbon in the middle is perfect. I wouldn't recommend gluing like a heavy fake fruit or something like that, just because you want to be able to hang your wreath. You don't want things to fall off of it, and this is just the best way to keep it nice and sturdy. And so as you can see, I have glued on my flowers and I'm placing them. Just make sure you know your placement in advance. Once you stick those flowers down, it is quite hard to move to another spot. So just make sure that you have an idea where you want everything set, especially if you're working with ribbon. Getting glue off of ribbon is very hard. And with that, my wreath is done. You can use this design pattern to make any type of wreath that you want to. You can use it for any type of season. You can use it for any type of event, baby showers, weddings, whatever you want to do. And you can use whatever books you want to use. I did Christmas, but you don't have to do what I do. I hope I just gave you the information to get you started. And so with that, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to help somebody out there make a book wreath. If this video was good and you enjoyed it, don't forget to like this video. And if you are into food, if you are into home, and if you are into travel, this is a channel for you, and I hope you consider subscribing. Bye.